If you ask me, fishing isn't really the best part of Minecraft. It's pretty boring, I argue. So I improved fishing a bit. By a lot, I might even say. So now you need to actually reel in the rod, and you can catch fish, and the fish you catch are automatically placed into a little aquarium here, and then you can, I don't know, put them into a bucket or something. And the aquariums also generate normally, so you can see here, if I stop sneaking, the fish also starts swimming away again, and a new aquarium is generated every time. So hear me out. I know these aquariums here are pretty boring and small and stuff like that, but if you want to, I can make a second part of the series that goes on to how to make bigger aquariums that are maybe procedurally generated. I didn't do the commands for this yet, but I guess I can try. So yeah, just let me know if you want to see that. So this is fully on me, but the commands are a bit, let's say, disorderly, but let's just see how the tutorial goes. So first you want to add the scoreboard dummy. You can do this by typing this command into a command block and pressing a button, or simply typing it into the chat. And this byte scoreboard will later determine how long it takes for a fish to take the bait. And then each fishing hook gets a byte score of 0 added automatically. So after we've done that, we want to get into the more fun stuff. So first we've got this one here that kind of just deletes the normal function of a fishing hook or fishing rod. So when you now cast your rod, the hook isn't really gonna touch the water, it's just gonna stay above the water so that nothing can be caught the usual way. So just keep in mind that you can't catch items like treasures in general or normal fish with this, whatever, yeah. Then you test for each fishing hook with a bite score of 1, and if there's not a tropical fish nearby within a range of 1.5 blocks, and if the block 2 blocks below it is water, then it's gonna summon a tropical fish. And keep in mind this is only gonna happen if the bite score equals 1. Well, but now the fish could just move away, and we don't want that. So you simply need this command block here. This also has each fishing hook with a bite score of 1. Execute a command that teleports the closest tropical fish 1 block below the fishing hook. Actually, for now, the bite score is just gonna always be 0. So we need to change this by having this command here set up that simply randomizes the fishing score, the bite score of each fishing hook that doesn't score bite equals 1 from 1 to 100. If you want the waiting times to be at least potentially longer, then you can simply increase this number. If you want to make them shorter, then you can decrease this number. If you want to support me while not having to type all of these commands on your own, you can join my Patreon for just $5 a month and get all of the structure files for all of my tutorials. And again, it's just a huge support as well. Next we have to determine what happens if a tropical fish is summoned. So if there is a bite. If the tropical fish doesn't have a tag catching, it plays the sound to the closest player, and only if a fishing hook is nearby within a range of 1.1 blocks. So this tests for all the same stuff and then runs a little particle command, which I'm pretty sure you could see at the beginning. It's just this critical hits particle emitter. And then in the end it gets the tag catching, so all of these commands don't keep being executed. Quick correction, this actually applies the tag catching to the closest player, starting from the tropical fish, and then this one here adds the tag catching to the fish itself. We'll be focusing on why the player needs the tag catching in a second, but first we need to type in these two command blocks, these two commands that are responsible for the reeling in and for the fish actually swimming away, because this basically tests if the player is sneaking, and if that's not the case, then the fish is gonna swim away. I just mislearned how to speak, apparently. And then this tests if the player is sneaking, and if that's the case, the line is reeled in again. I hope I said that correctly. Whatever, I'm keeping my promise. Now we'll have a look at all the commands that actually require the player to have the tag catching. So this tests if the player has the tag catching, obviously, and then tests if there is not a tropical fish with a tag catching nearby, and in that case it removes the tag catching from the player again. So this really just displays some text to every player with the tag. Nothing more to add here, I guess. And then this also changes the camera perspective for the player. Yeah, you can tweak around with this a bit. Maybe change the height or something, I don't know. Change the angle. Then the camera of each player that doesn't have the tag catching is cleared again. So this now tests if a fish with a tag catching is within a range of 3 blocks with a player with a tag catching. Oh my god, this sentence sounded kind of off. Whatever, and then it first runs the place on command that plays the note.harp sound with a slightly higher pitch. Then it just kills the fishing hook, because otherwise a fish would be would keep on spawning, and you don't want that, I suppose. And then the fish teleports itself into the next aquarium. As of now, tropical fish can also escape if you just forget sneaking completely, and in that case you don't want them to keep tag catching, I guess. So this is why it's removed again, unless a fishing hook is nearby, and also the fish in the aquarium will lose the tag catching this way. Oh yeah, and so far we didn't even build the sneak detection that's required for reeling in and stuff. So yeah, this is just the sneak detection. It simply applies a tag to you according to whether you sneak or not. And if I remember correctly, the rest of these commands is just dedicated to the aquariums. So, oh, and I'm just gonna need to show you something else about the aquariums after I'm done with these commands. This tests for each entity, this takes each entity with the name aquarium, which will be armor stands mostly, unless you decide to take something else. And then tests if there's a tropical fish within a range of 1 blocks. And then these armor stands are gonna copy the aquarium they're in to the coordinates at the end of this, which all is adjustable. And then the armor stand in question also summons another armor stand called aquarium at the center of the next aquarium. It just clones. And then the aquarium armor stand is also gonna just simply be killed if the tropical fish still is nearby, which is always gonna be the case. And each of these armor stands also gets an invisibility effect. It doesn't really matter, because if there's a fish inside this cage, then the armor stand is gonna be gone anyway. But here, for example, there is still an armor stand. Oh, and yeah, for the aquariums, I'm just really gonna need you to build a 3x3x3 aquarium made out of glass or something else. You maybe want to make the edges something else, and then you can do that. But yeah, just make sure it looks somewhat like an aquarium. Go in here, and then type /summon armor stand aquarium. And then you've really done everything you need to do. If you, for some reason, should decide to kill every entity on the map using /killt or something else maybe, then always make sure to put a new armor stand in the only unfilled container.